toxic relationships and being in a habit of falling into these toxic relationships. It all starts with self-esteem and, low self-confidence typically. But what is a toxic relationship? How is that defined? Well, my definition is anything that causes you harm on a recurring basis, when the harm outweighs the good and you are always feeling like a victim or you've been victimized, that's a toxic relationship. Basically anything that makes you, not in a good place. And this happens a lot. There's different types of toxicity. There's different types of relationships that this toxicity can be in. It can be in family relationships, personal relationships, friends. Those all count as toxic relationships if they are in fact toxic. And what that is if it's not good for you and it's holding you back and it's hurting you on a continual basis and you are not able to break free from it, you need to pay attention, because chances are good that your self-esteem was lowered at some point and that's what kind of caused you to fall into these patterns. But being in a toxic relationship will only add to that and further lower your self-worth. And it's important to recognize what is happening. And I always tell people, when you first go out with somebody or when you're first around somebody, pay close attention to how you feel when you're with them, because that's a good indicator. Some people kind of ignore that because they're so taken by the person, but they're not paying attention to how they feel when they are around them. And that's usually kind of how people fall into these patterns. And toxic people, they know how to suck people into their ugly web. I'm not going to use any, labels here, but, there are certain people who that's kind of their mission in this life, is to control people and bring them down. And any type of abuser will do this. I mean, an emotional abuser, a physical abuser, it all starts with breaking you down first. So if you start seeing patterns like this, well, it's best to walk away. Get out of there before the real abuse starts, or before the real toxicity shows its ugly head. If you're unable to do that, I would suggest, reaching out to friends or family for some help in doing that. But if you're in it and you are constantly just living in this, hell of misery and being, physically or emotionally hurt all the time, you need to escape from that. You need to break free from that. And it's not always easy, and I understand that, but you need to heal. And the only way to start healing is to stop the bleeding. You're not going to heal if you're continuously subjected to this behavior and this pattern of behavior from a person or people. It's just not going to happen. You may start to feel a little bit better for a minute, and then bam, you're right back where you started, because you're not going to be able to heal until you are separated from the situation. But make sure make sure that you avoid these situations, and that's obviously the biggest thing you can do. If you are, if you're in a relationship right now and you're not quite sure, pay attention to how you're feeling every day, several times a day. Pay attention to how you're feeling, and pay attention to how you feel when you're with the person, in their presence. How do you feel? Do you feel icky? Do you feel scared? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel anxious? If you do, those are all key indicators that you should not be with them or around them. Once you're in, it's a different situation and you need to try to get out of it. But I'm talking about how to avoid them. And that is the best way to avoid a toxic relationship, is to pay attention to how you feel. If you get that feeling, that ick feeling, separate yourself from it. Don't go back for more. Stay away from it, because chances are good it's only going to get worse. And don't give people the benefit of the doubt. If it happens a couple times and you feel the same way each time, that's your subconscious trying to tell you, this is not good for you. This is bad. Listen to that, and listen to your feelings on how you feel when you're with certain people, and avoid those people. If you don't feel good, See, when you're around new people, you should feel kind of excited, and you want to be around people who are going to bring out the best in you and make you feel like you want to be your best, and give you a little bit of, not, I won't say they won't make you feel good, but they're going to make you want to try harder to be the best version of yourself. People who want you to grow and to be good. Those are the people that you want to be around. If people give you that icky feeling, stay away from them, because chances are good you're going to end up in a toxic situation. Good luck.